All right, here we are at the DFW Airport. I'm at the screening process. And apparently you can get a pre-check and go through not radiation machines and opt out both the radiation and the sexual assault. So I'm going to consider paying for that service next time. But that's the new Leidos radiation machine that everybody's willingly just walking through, getting radiation poison in their body. So I opted out of that, and I got a sexual assault pat down over here with the TSA. I had the police force come. I called the police and I had them record everything. So I'm going to be subpoenaing these videos of the sexual assault. All right, so I just got that done. Guys, I'm fired up, y'all. I am fucking fired up. I put those TSA agents in their fucking place. I made them feel so fucking ridiculous and uncomfortable for their total sexual assault. Total sexual assault, y'all. While they proceeded to tell me why they're touching my genitals, looking for bombs, I proceeded to go on a full-on 9/11 as an inside job of a rant and stood up for my rights exactly like Rosa Parks did. I mentioned Rosa Parks, what she did in 1950, 51? Obviously, we all heard about that story. She decided to stand up for her rights. Basically what I just did right now. I do not want to sit at the back of the bus. That's racist. I'd like to sit in the front of the bus, and I'd like to be treated like a human being, and I'm asking you to treat me like a human being. So basically said the same thing. I don't want my genitals touched. I don't consent to you sexually assaulting me. And then they flex their muscles on me. The supervisor, the big supervisor guy. Oh, are you refusing a pat down? I'm like, no, I never said those words. Why are you making up shit? I'm calling for the police right now, and I would like for you to call the police and bring them over here because I'd like for them to be here present during this sexual assault that you're claiming is a routine pat down, and I'd like to be recorded. Oh, well, is there a problem here? You're refusing us? You know what I mean? Like crazy Gestapo, Orwellian fucking bullshit, Nazi Germany nonsense. Show me your papers. We're looking for bombs here. How dare you question our authority? And I'm like, how dare you? And I straight up told him, straight up, look, I've got sexual trauma from a man, from multiple men in my life, and I don't feel comfortable with you, a really big, scary, like, man that's exerting your force upon me and telling me why you need to touch my genitals. So I did the thing. So I did my standard option. I'm opting out of the radiation poisoning, obviously. I'm not putting my body through more radiation. I know, that we're flying in an airplane apparently closer to the sun, so yeah, there's radiation there, whatever. But I'm opting out of extreme amounts of radiation by having more put in my body inside of a machine. Like, why would I do that? Because I care about myself, and I'm not trying to destroy my DNA and the molecular structure of my being. So I opted for the pat down, and I basically told him my testimony as a United States Marine veteran who guarded the American embassies overseas, right? So I'm a Marine security guard. So if anybody knows security, that's me. Yeah, the Marine security guards who guard the American embassies across overseas everywhere, 24/7. There's 24/7. There's never not a Marine guarding an embassy right now. 24/7. And that includes all the presidential visits and all the ambassadors to every country, from every country, and all the dignitaries, all the bigwig people, right? So we had a diplomatic passport, worked with the Department of State. I actually trained and worked with the Secret Service for President Clinton, the Clinton administration. So I did that. I worked for the Clinton administration. I guarded the president and Madeleine Albright, Madam Secretary Madeleine Albright. So I did that service while I was in the Marine Corps, and I secured the embassy. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. At the embassy, if there was some crazy terrorist freaking dude person that was trying to, do some crazy stuff, I'm going to sit down over here while I'm waiting for my plane. Let me see if I'm still recording. Yeah, still recording. I'm doing a testimony, y'all, because I was just sexually assaulted by TSA, and I spoke nothing but logic. This was the best video yet. I'm going to subpoena these videos, y'all, and you're going to see the sheer logic and reason that I'm speaking with my absolute convicted truth. Hold on, I think I got a print on my screen. Let me make sure my screen is clean. There you go. So I worked as a Marine security guard, and I'm telling you this, and I told this to the police officers after the TSA agent was like, oh, you're refusing us? Oh, well, I'm calling the police. I'm like, no, I'm the one that called the police. I'm telling you to call the police. I want them here. And he tried to make it look like, oh, you're causing a scene over here. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Stop making up bullshit stories. Pull the police over here, and I'd like them for my protection and my safety. And really what I wanted was for them to record it so I could subpoena the video, because they wouldn't let me bring my camera out and record it myself. I'm not allowed to touch my gear. We're in a screening process, so you can't touch your stuff. You know, I'm like, all right, you guys are real shitty bomb searchers. Y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing and how to search for a bomb, y'all. If y'all believe in terrorists and plane hijackings and all this stupid shit, I offer them the best solution. So the last time I came, I was wearing super baggy pants, and they did their whole sexual assault, hands up the thighs. I'm using the back of my hands. Well, do you feel like you can really feel something with the back of your hands? Your senses, your sensories on your fingertips are the most sensitive sensory points on the body, besides like your earlobes and like your tongue and stuff. So when you're trying to touch something and feel something, you need the front of your hand so that you can actually tell what it is. But even further than that, even more stupid than that, y'all, I made this analogy. I just basically started, okay, you guys are searching through that body scanner, right? That body scanner produces an X-ray, an imaging, right? So that they're looking through your bags through an image with their what? Their eyes. When you're searching for something, you need your eyes. Is the number one most important thing to see if there's a bomb, a gun, a knife, or whatever, right? So they're looking at it on their X-ray scanner machine. All right, then they put you to the metal detector. They're detecting metal, right? They don't need to touch you, do they? They don't need to touch you. They wave the wand over you, still no touching. They're sensing it with a sensor, right? So I gave them a very sensible alternative to the sexual assault that they were so excited to do for me, because it's our protocol and we have to do it. I'm like, look, y'all, I guarded the American embassies overseas, right? If we had a terrorist that was trying to get into the embassy and we suspected a bomb or a weapon on them, not only would we do a routine pat down, but we wouldn't be going up their butt and their rectum and their genitals and their balls. That's fucking ridiculous, y'all. Absolutely ridiculous. You know what we do? We'd strip search that motherfucker. That's what we do. Yeah, take your damn clothes off. If you're a threat and you got bombs on you, we're taking your fucking clothes off is what we're doing. So I offered them an alternative. I said, I'm happy to remove my pants for you, so I'll show you there's nothing there, and you can just see with your eyes, because that's what you're doing when you're searching my bag, right? You're searching through the bag, looking with your eyeballs. You're looking at the scanner machine with your eyeballs. So why can't you just look at my body? Why do you have to touch my genitals? You see what I'm saying? Do you see how ridiculous this is? So I went on to proceed to tell them the 9/11 inside job, the whole 9/11 truth, bombs inside the buildings, no planes were on 9/11, 0 planes were found, no plane wreckage, no 2,000-pound jet engines. Let me get one of these for you. Let me just film one of these. How big these jet engines are. And this is a tiny plane, y'all. This is the tiniest plane, but look at that man and look how big that engine is next to that man. I don't know if I can get a bigger plane, but there, let's see, way over there. Okay, we got a bigger plane way over here. Let's check out this one way in the distance, way back there. Look how big that jet engine is on top of that plane. And look at all the jet engines on all these planes, the engine, and look how small those windows are over there. That's bigger than, that's like the size of a bus. That's like a giant vehicle on the sides of these planes. So those engines are so big, I'm gonna relate it to this truck right here, bigger than this truck right here. 2,000-pound engines on these planes, right? On 9/11, they found none of those. No engines were found. Not in the Twin Towers, not in the Pentagon, not in Pennsylvania, Shanksville, in the field, y'all, where the plane allegedly crashed in the ground. 0 plane wreckage, giant engines were found, 0 black boxes were found. However, what they told you on TV was that 19 terrorists hijacked planes, and they found their passports, y'all. They found the passports in the buildings that exploded with bombs inside. But they couldn't find the plane engines, but they found the passports. Make it make sense, y'all. Look at this plane. Look at that jet engine. See how big that thing is? None of them were found on 9/11. 0. So that's my whole point, guys. That's the whole point of this video. That they're claiming terrorists exist everywhere. We're constantly looking for bombs on the people's underwear. Why? Because they want to touch your genitals and violate your rights. That's what they're doing. 9/11 was specifically brought in so that they can surveil you, monitor you, and violate your rights. So that's what I did just now. I just protested the fuck out of that shit. And I brought in Rosa Parks because Rosa Parks did something in 1951, I think it was. She stood up for her rights, her civil rights. She stood up for her rights. She said, I'm not going to sit on the back of the bus. I'm going to sit in the front of the bus because I'm a what? I'm a human being. And I deserve to be treated like a human being. So that's exactly what I told them. I am the reincarnation of Rosa Parks, and I do not want my genitals touched by you. And I'd have the right to fly in a plane without being sexually assaulted. That's me doing Rosa Parks all over, 2.0. And you know what they did? We're calling the cops. Just like they did to Rosa Parks in 1951, they called the police on her for simply sitting at the front of the bus. And guess what they did after that? They arrested her for standing up for her rights. And then guess what her boss did at her company? They fired her and lost her job simply because she stood up for herself. Now, I was threatened just now to be kicked off my flight, that I will never fly again, right? That cops would be coming and they're going to do something to me when I'm the one that called the police for my protection. Y'all, make it make sense, y'all. There were bombs planted in the Twin Towers, bombs, and the buildings fell at free fall speed, the speed of gravity. How is that possible without demolitions in the building? It was a controlled demolitions. Architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, thousands of architects and engineers, hundreds of New York City police officers and firefighters reported explosives in the building. There were 0 Arabic terrorists on 9/11. It was done by the government because they knew it happened, yet they found a passport of an Afghanistan terrorist. Interesting that they claimed it was 19 Afghanis. And then where did we invade right after that? We went to Iraq. We went to Iraq, not where the terrorists were, but where Saddam Hussein was, to look for the now weapons of mass destruction that they were saying George Bush was alleging were there. And guess what? They didn't find those either, did they? So when they finally made it to Afghanistan, what, a couple years later? You know, thank y'all for waiting 2 years to get the terrorists. My God. What did they do there, guys? You remember that? The American Army and Marines were guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan. Not looking for terrorists, not looking for weapons of mass destruction, seizing the poppy fields for the heroin industry. You know what I'm saying? This is all your tax dollars that y'all are paying for this. You're paying for a U.S. military to take over people's oil fields, to kill innocent children and women and people overseas, and to take over their poppy fields. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, guarded the American embassies overseas, presidential guard for President Clinton and Madeleine Albright, and it is my testimony that it is absolutely unnecessary to touch people's genitals when you're searching for a bomb. If somebody's got a bomb threat, you better believe you're taking their clothes off and you're strip searching them. That's what they do in prison. They strip search you before you go to jail. That's how you search somebody. You don't touch their genitals, you look at them. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. That's my testimony. I'm going to be subpoenaing these videos, the police officer videos that I got from multiple trips that I've done this month. And I'm just going to blow the lid off this, y'all. We're going to be waking the fuck up. Everybody needs to wake up. You need to deny the radiation scanners, the Leidos radiation scanners. You're destroying your DNA, the molecular structure of your body,
by allowing a constant radiation frequency into your body. Now, when you go to the hospital and you get an x-ray scan, what does the doctor do? He gets behind a lead fucking booth so he doesn't get the radiation, guys. He's hiding so he doesn't get the poisoning. That's what I opted out, the radiation machine, and I opted for the pat down, which is absolutely ridiculous that they got to sexually assault you. They don't have to do that shit, y'all. It's ridiculous. And I made them feel ridiculous because I spoke nothing but fucking hardcore truth and facts to them. Hardcore. They couldn't fucking deny my analogy to Rosa Parks and the fact that I'm a Marine security guard, and that's how we do searches on people, y'all. You better believe you're getting a strip search. And I offered that. I said, hey, why don't I just drop my pants? We can go to a private room. You can look at me. You don't have to touch me. I'll get down to my underwear and you can just look. You don't have to touch my genitals. Yeah, they felt really, really uncomfortable when I mentioned that. Why do you need to touch me? I just kept asking, why do you have to touch me? You don't have to. They want to take your rights. That's what they want to do. Zero terrorists on 9/11. It was an inside job, y'all. Wake the fuck up. Research 9/11 was an inside job. 911truth.org. Thank you.